corrupt inevitably because of societal pressures, because we've seen through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years of human development that people actually respond to these situations in a particular way. And the saying is absolute power corrupts absolutely, right? So it's this basic idea that once someone has this absolute power of immortality, that once they have this complete power of not having to care about any of the crap that happens in their life and they can just do whatever they want, they're going to be absolutely corrupt because they're realizing, well, I don't care what others think. Why should I have to struggle all the time to try to make it up, why should I try to make innovations in the world when I can just live for myself? And that leads me to a reputation of this point of how we're going to have an Isaac Newton sitting on a chair contemplating for 5 billion years. Right? We don't think that that's plausible at all. We don't think that this idea of scientific advancements will actually happen. First of all, we think that this person, and my partner talked about this in this whole idea of life being finite and it being precious because it's finite. We feel that eventually a person's going to realize that they're missing so much of their life. They're going to have so many of these placeholders, as he dubbed them. They're going to have so much of these placeholders who have no value in their life, in his life, and he's just going to have to start brushing them away and stuff. And we feel that, in essence, that person's going to become miserable. And once they become miserable, they're not going to be wanting to make those social advances because misery is going to be the only thing that's clouding their mind. And eventually, once this perpetuates, they might have had some scientific advances being like, yeah, I'm going to change the world, but eventually they're going to get to a point where they're absolutely so miserable that they don't want to do anything and they can't change anything about it because you're stuck. You're going to have to live with this pain for your entire life. Also, on the point of scientific advancements, the reason that why people make societal advancements and scientific advancements like they've done in humanity, is because they realize that life is finite, right? Newton made scientific advancements quickly because he knew that his life was finite. If he knew that he had his entire life to ponder this idea of gravity, for example, then he would have spread it out and we wouldn't have had the extreme developments that we had. We think the idea that because life is so finite, that leads to better progression in the world. Possibilities are finite. This idea, we feel that the person's going to lack the initiative to want to although the possibilities are finite, anything's possible, right? And he gave us all these like friggin' Webster's dictionary definitions, right? We feel that the person's going to lack initiative just because I'm trying to take a really basic approach. People are just going to be so miserable. They're not going to want to do anything just because we've seen through human experience that people become miserable when they don't have stuff that motivates them in life, such as friends and family. Alright. Reputation. He started off with Prometheus, so I'll start off with Prometheus. You'll live as long as the universe exists. That's what he said, and that like it's okay, you'll be fine up till then. But eventually, Mr. Speaker, you're going to stumble, fall into a cave, right? And then all hope is going to be lost. You're going to be Prometheus, stuck and chained to the rocks. It's going to happen the exact same way. And we feel that eventually you're just going to have to suffer with that pain so long. And it's not that you're going to be regretting the decision that you made. He barely touched on loss of loved ones. Like we feel that that's really good. The loss of loved ones, this idea that you need people there, and that you can't just have placeholders. You actually need people who have a tangible value, who actually have meaningful impacts in your life. We feel that's really important, and you're not going to be having that through this kind of idea where you're completely immortal. And the last point was he said that there's infinite opportunities to allow innovation. First, I pointed out that you won't be motivated enough to do that, and you wouldn't be pushed to, right? Because you have infinite time, you can do whatever. It's like procrastination, Mr. Speaker, simply put. So for those reasons and the reasons that my partner has stated, we beg to propose. Thank you.